Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. I want you to think about these questions. Internalize them. Don't have to answer out loud. Just think about it. Would you love to have peace? You know, for the crazy world that we live in, the schedules and everything, there's just some peace, quiet. Maybe you want to lose some weight. Maybe you're dealing with a little bit of anxiety, maybe some depression, maybe you're stressed out. Anything even related to that, would you like to learn how to feel better and maybe you're stuck, move your life forward? We're going to talk about that today. And this is all part of what she offers. It's a holistic approach to balancing your life, tuning into yourself. In Tune, Yoga and Wellness is her practice, and we're going to dig back into what she calls the pillars of balance, if you will. Linda Black joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing terrific. Thanks, Steve, for welcoming me back. I so look forward to this.
So we have four, same here. And we might even get to a meditation, I do believe, a little bit later, which is going to kind of seal the deal. The four pillars, we're going to hit up the final one today, but can we recap and just maybe a brief explanation of what the other three are?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So move, that's self-explanatory. It's like what we do in exercise. I just like to call it movement. We need to move our bodies and get the junk out, like flush the toilet, so to speak. So movement, right? Don't let things get stale. Move, breathe. Breath is a really integral part of what we do every day. We just kind of are mindless about it. But if we're mindful, breath can change our direction. It can change our mood. It can change the way we detox. We talked about that in one of our earlier episodes. So if you missed that first episode, go back and reconnect with it. We did some breath exercises there that would really be useful. And then the third pillar I call live, which is lifestyle. We dug pretty deep into that about nutrition, how you approach life in lifestyle. If you're not loving the fruit of your tree, you got to dig down to the roots and see what you're rooted in. What are you rooted in? And then really kind of pull that up, dig it out, do something different. And that brings us to the fourth pillar, which is B. And B is this portion of being quiet, still, and listening to, tuning in to what's in your best interest. And I got to tell you, Steve, for me, this was probably the hardest pillar because I have a yoga background. I'm a yoga master. I've been doing it for 25 years. And I was just thinking back to when I first learned yoga. There's a pose at the end you might be familiar with. It's called Shavasana. And it's where you just lay there. And in fact, you are just being, not doing. I'm a human doer. I'm not a human being. I am now, but I'm a reformed human doer, I guess I could say. When it came to Shavasana, I got to tell you, I would roll my mat up and leave because I'm like, I'm out of here. I don't got time for this. I don't have time for relaxation. I don't have time to sit here and just do nothing because that's what it felt like to me. Well, I don't know how many of you listeners out there are going, oh yeah, that's me. I can't sit still. I got to be moving. And others have been going like, what? Shavasana is my favorite piece. I mean, I'm with you now, but I'm a reformer. So the stillness, this might be the most important thing that we do in the day. We're creating stillness for ourselves to listen in, to see what is actually going on underneath the surface instead of ignoring it. The more we resist what is going on in our life, what is wrong in our life, the more we are going to capture that the more it's going to come to us. Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. And yeah, I've been around a while. I only figured this out, not through yoga, but the be still kind of thing only in the last, I'm going to say 10 months. And that was me talking to friends, maybe a Saturday or Sunday. It's 11 a.m. You're still in bed. Like, what? You're still in bed? What are you doing? You have the whole day. You're blowing a whole day off. You could be doing things. My gosh, you're just laying in bed. Oh my God. Wow. And then I finally realized that after doing it, laying in bed, and on Sunday morning, I'd be like, I'm going to get DoorDash, have some coffee delivered. Doing nothing is doing something. You're allowing your mind to recharge, your body to recharge, to think, to just enjoy the moment, to just, I'm going to close my eyes and maybe I'm going to meditate. Maybe I'll go back to sleep. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to be here. It took me that long to figure it out. And now when I wake up first thing in the morning, I look forward to nothing. I'll take 10 minutes and I'll just lay there and may call it meditation, whatever it might be. Sometimes my dog is like, I gotta go out. I'm like, dude, lay down. Daddy needs 10 minutes. What a
It's
game
so
changer.
important. It's so important for your well-being and also to understand what goes through your mind when you first wake up. Like when you first blink your eyes open, my first instinct back in my 20s, 30s, and even into my 40s was like, what day is it? Am I late? What do I have to do? Like those three things would just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I have a friend who would just wake up and she'd be anxious. And I'm like, okay, well, now I wake up and I look outside. I'm like, the sun is just coming up over the mountain and I'm able to enjoy the sunrise. Like you said, it's like just take the couple of minutes to appreciate your life.
Mm,
Those couple of minutes to appreciate your life will go far into your day to set the mood and the tone. When we start setting the mood and the tone, we are being in what I would call being our authentic self.
which I want to get
Um,
to in a moment, the authentic side of us,
yes,
ironic or not, but I want to share something if I may. And this is this morning where I have a gratitude journal and there's little anecdotes in there. And this was today's, and I've already shared this with a bunch of friends, but it says, the morning, how you start your day is how you live your day. How you live your day is how you live your life. And that is a quote from the wonderful Louise Hay.
I love Louise Hayes. And if
Yeah.
you don't know her, look her up. That's a great quote. That is a great quote.
Says
Then
everything.
that kind of segues into how you are being and growing yourself. Um, there's a quote that I love by Elizabeth Bank. It says, there is deep wisdom within our very flesh if we can only come to our senses and feel it.
Mm,
There's deep wisdom within our very flesh. If we're running around like thinking, what's next? What's my next? We're not capturing that deep wisdom. A calm mind accesses infinite intelligence. I think I've shared that quote maybe more than once to more than one person, but it's my favorite. Um, Another Pietro Argentino says, I am indeed a king because I know how to rule myself. Now, if we're introspective, that's the being part. And we cannot introspect when we are exerting or doing. Now think
hmm,
about it. You introspect when you lose a game, like a soccer game. You could introspect. You also could go out and numb it with, a milkshake or whatever, or camaraderie, and just blow it off. The introspection helps us really grow from inside out, and that's the being.
mm,
That being part that's so important. And for a lot of my life, I just was like pushing it away. It's like, nope, I got to get something else done. I don't, I got to feel productive. I got to feel like I'm getting, you know, I have to get my to-do list, which was never to done, on the docket. I don't do that anymore. I have things on my to-do list that say things like spend 5 minutes in self-reflection or 5 minutes in meditation daily. And then I give myself 5 out of 7 days. I don't say every day because I don't want a laundry list of things to do. I want a list of things that make me feel like I want to feel in that day in the day.
Mm.
So part of that is the introspection.
When we say be, that also includes being ourselves. And I feel that many of us really aren't our true self. We put up a wall, the mask comes up, we act differently with that person than we do with this person. And
Oh
then
my
over here, or we're not even real to ourselves. What's the best way to be your authentic self? And how do you know if you are?
oh my goodness, this is a great question. You know what's coming to mind when you said that? There was an exercise I did for about, I want to say it was 6 months, maybe it was almost a year, through MMK, the master keys, and I'm not mastermind keys, something, something. Anyway, not going to remember the whole thing, but what we had to do on a daily basis was write down one thing, just one thing that we were going to do. And then we had to be true to ourselves. So
Mm,
that made me accountable. So if I said, I'm going to sweep the porch, I swept the porch. I didn't make excuses. I would make these things really simple. So if you're struggling to be yourself, then there's probably a good chance that you lie to yourself every day, that you make promises that you don't keep. There's a very high likelihood that you make promises, like, I'm gonna do that today. I'm going to do that today, and then you don't do it. So we might make a promise to someone else and would follow through, but to ourselves, the best way to be authentic is to start being truthful to yourself. So
truth.
just, yeah, just
It's
right.
like it's
So,
always
and these can be super simple. And I find myself falling in this over and over again. It's really easy for me to be my word with someone else because they're holding me accountable, but I'm
there's the word
less
accountable. Yes.
accountable to myself. But if you can really dig into that part of, okay, today, I'm gonna, spend the 10 minutes in my lesson, or, but I like a growth mentality. And so every day is a 10-minute growth mentality for me. So whatever that is, reading a book or reading or getting on a podcast or something that I'm studying, if I have a study work group, then if I'm not doing that, then I'm not being true to myself. That's mine.
I I didn't know that that was the answer, but I knew that that was the answer. Because it's almost you want to ignore it. And I've shared with you, I'm in a men's group, and we do commitments every week. Things that you want to accomplish. Mine, one of them is go to the gym 4 times for an hour each. And there's a number of other things, and the other men in the group do the same thing. But we're held accountable, and we talk to man later in the day. Yeah, we pair off once a week. You have the same person, and we just rotate it around. And one of the things they say is, "How you doing on your commitments?" And they're the commitments to yourself. And if you don't follow through on your commitments, you need to be honest. Once we get together every week, and there's a cleanup. And we have an app. You spin a wheel, and we put things on it where you put $50 in the kitty, and that goes to community service, whatever it might be. Or you might have to strip your underwear and run around a block 3 times. It's embarrassing, but whatever. But
Or
the
not.
accountability, you said that word, and So many times we lie to ourselves every blanking day. It's so true. And we get so used to doing it that we don't even know that we're doing it. So, yes, if you're authentic, you're not going to lie to yourself. You want to be authentic for somebody else in your life? You're not going to lie to them. Like you said, you'll honor what you say to somebody else, but you won't do it to yourself.
Yeah, and if you, I love that you brought the up that you're doing an accountability group. That is so helpful, and I have an accountability group that I do similar things with, and it's been so helpful because then I get to see that when I'm not my word.
It's staring you in the face, especially if you write it down and put it in a memo on your phone or
It's
whatever it is.
yeah,
But I got to be honest, Linda, thank you for that because I never realized that that is authenticity, being authentic to yourself. That's one of the starting points. Don't lie to yourself anymore. Is there a
exactly.
feeling with that and everything else under the umbrella of being authentic um, that we can do or how we'll feel? Is it a feeling of connecting to self? Is there a way to describe it when you're I'm being authentic. I'm being me
Yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah, absolutely. Like you feel good, and endorphins get sent through the body. Your hormones flood at the gates with the oxytocin when you do something and you're true to your word. You should celebrate it. It's like, oh, hey, I was true to my word like 8 out of 9 times this week. I'm getting better.
Hmm.
And that when you're in a flooded state of feel good hormone, your true self, natural self comes out.
Hmm.
You're not as tired. You're at your peak performance. So if you wake up at a level 4, but you can do a gratitude journal and pull yourself up to a level 6 or 8 or even all the way to 10,
Hmm.
you're able to accomplish more. And you're going to face people knowing that you were true to yourself. That there's a change there. When you're lying constantly to yourself, it's hard to face other people and do the same thing because there is a sense of shame
Hmm.
that comes with that and a sense of self-doubt. You really need to really look into that because the truth will set you free, A,
Hmm.
and truthfulness transcends self-doubt. And when you have self-doubts about yourself, you're going to strengthen that by being sensitive to how what you say in your mind and how you follow through.
I love you, but I hate you. Because you're like you're the mirror. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Like, but she's right. I want to hear it, but she's right. By the way, in the men's group, we do a check-in every single day with that phone call, and it's like scale 1 to 10. How you doing? Well, I'm checking in with an 8, and if you're 7 and below, then we call it an inspection. All right, what's going on? How you feeling? What's up there? Um, this everything you're saying is so it's crystal clear in terms of that B pillar. Um, should we look toward the meditation now? What do you think? We have about
Yeah, let's do a quick meditation. I am taking this from a book um, that's a chakra meditation book. Just so you know, FYI, you can always pick this up. It's super simple and easy, and that's why I'm choosing to do that today. It's a short one, and this is about the heart chakra. So, listeners, just like settle in, and if you can, put your feet on the ground, even if you're seated in a chair, if you could put your feet so that it's firmly planted on the ground. Cross-legged sitting is great as well. Close your eyes unless you're operating machinery.
thank you for saying that because I was going to.
And then just bring your fingers so that the thumb is touching the pinky in the middle and the ring finger. So the other two fingers are free, and then you're just going to set that in your lap. This, by the way, is a prana mudra
Hmm.
with air and ether being active.
I
And
always wondered why when somebody, and you don't have to do this to meditate, I would believe, but I always
no, no,
wonder
no.
Why
No,
people
but
do it?
this is an air meditation. Air is the chakra
Okay,
vibe. That's the element of
cool.
the heart chakra. So we're just gonna kind of open up that air space and the air and the heart by bringing the circuitry of air to ourselves. So here,
Beautiful.
yep. Well, deeper dive into that later, but not right now. So sit comfortably in a meditative position, whatever that is for you, like straight or crossed, and then just take a couple of deep breaths. Listen into the rhythm of your breath, the flow, and as you're listening to the breath, allow it to become more steady. Equal amounts of inhale to an exhale, and maybe just a little bit longer. Inhale a little bit longer. Exhale. 5 count, inhale. Exhale, 5 count, exhale. And with your spine pretty upright, stacking the vertebra, continue that breath expansion and contraction. Allow the tip of your tongue to rest naturally behind the teeth. And your eye gaze with them closed to upward to the third eye. And just keep that gentle breath flow. If you feel too airy, just adopt a more grounding mudra here by turning the palms down instead of up. Keep the mudra down instead of up. And then ask yourself the following question. So with that deep breath in, deep breath out, do I keep old relationships hanging in the air? Do I need to release them? Just honor what's coming up without judgment. It's really important that when you're in an inquisitive state, a quiet state of mind, that we listen without judgment. We honor what's coming up for you. Do I keep old relationships hanging in the air? Do I need to release them? If there is something hanging on, what would closure look like? What would closure look like? Acknowledging the friendship, acknowledging how it served a purpose, acknowledging how you are moving on. It doesn't have to be a pushing away. It could just be a gentle acknowledgement of what is and how you are moving forward. Whether or not that relationship comes with you or goes in a different direction. That is your sense is what moves me in my authentic path. What's serving me right now? Just let that relax. Do I let emotional wounds control me? And for what do I need to forgive myself? Who must I forgive in order to be free? And as we finalize this meditation, this inquiry, just make an affirmation that expresses the air of change you need in words such as, I forgive myself and I release all feelings of guilt and hurt. Or I let go of friendships that no longer serve me. I forgive and I'm grateful for the lesson that he or she taught me. My heart is weightless and free of unnecessary burden. I know great joy and therefore have great energy. And lastly, my feet are firmly rooted and my spirit is boundless like the air. And then open your eyes gently. And if there's one of those mantras or affirming words that really you notice, like that's the one that's really speaking to me right now, we'll go ahead and jot it down. And then later, spend 5 minutes in a meditation with that, visualizing how you need to repair a broken friendship or release a friendship that's no longer working or let go of the heaviness. So we have heavy burdens. We can feel that.
Mm.
How do we let it go? That's the being part, the realizing part. Hope that was helpful.
Perfect timing in terms of we're almost out of time here.
I know.
Um, I never saw that coming. I didn't know where we were going with this. Um, wow. And I remember somebody about 4 or 5 years ago said to me, things were shifting. And he said, those people, they don't serve you anymore. And I was almost like, oh, that sounds horrible. Like you're the king on the hill. You be gone, you be gone. But they were right. That
Yeah, it's not necessarily like that. It's like you just need to let them flow in their direction they're going.
because you went in a different direction, and that's perfect. That's called life. That's called the flow of life. And you know,
Yes,
some people are here for a reason. Some people are here for a season. I totally believe in that.
exactly.
And just what you said, take the lesson you learned because they showed up for a reason, maybe a
Yes.
season, and they it just didn't happen. You learned something, they learned something, then you move on, and you move forward. You be. Wow.
Wow, that's another hour discussion, but yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for bringing that up.
Thank you for today and all the insight. So key and critical if you want to move your life forward. And this is just a piece of what you offer. How do we find you, Linda? How do somebody connect with you?
Just head over to my website, intuneyogawellness.com. Fill out just a simple form, hey, and connect with me. There's live connection, Zoom collect connection. I pull people through the 4 pillars, and I would love to help you up level your health in every single aspect of
I
life.
actually took notes and I'm sharing when we get off. Truthful or truthfulness transcends self-doubt. So when we're not being truthful to ourselves, we're creating self-doubt, but we don't even realize we're doing it. We don't know we're doing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for today, Linda. I appreciate everything. So insightful and looking forward next time we get together.
Yes, me too. Thank you, Steve,
Appreciate it.
so much.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.